So, Unreal Engine today released a trailer showing what they could potentially achieve on Unreal Engine 5, their next gen engine. Now, inside it, there was a message that said Unreal Engine 5, this is running on PlayStation 5. And we had a lot of fans go absolutely insane over the technology that was shown in Unreal Engine 5. So let's take a look at the trailer first, and then we'll get back and talk a bit about it.
Nice bugs. It might be.
Okay, now my hot take is that this is expected for something that's coming out in 2021. So this is Unreal Engine 5 coming out in 2021, and that's still about 9 months away. Well, 6 to 9 months away. So the earliest you're going to see Unreal Engine 5 games on PlayStation 5 would probably be around earliest, like June of 2022. And I wouldn't expect that at all. I wouldn't expect Unreal Engine 5 games 6 months after, well, sorry, yeah, June 2021. I wouldn't expect games in June 2021, 6 months after Unreal Engine 5. Who knows? Maybe Unreal Engine 5 releases like later in 2021 anyway. So you're really looking at around 2022, and possibly in fall of 2022, where we're actually going to get games that look like that on Unreal Engine 5 running on the PlayStation 5. So for people to just go crazy and say, "Oh my God, like PlayStation 5 is actually showing next gen visuals," and inside Xbox Showcase just show cross-gen games that looked really pathetic. No, I think that take is totally kind of wrong, because PlayStation 5 is showing stuff 2 years out, and Xbox Series X games are coming out this year, so that's 2 years later. So tell me a game that doesn't look as good that's coming. Tell me a game that looks much better 2 years later. Of course, every game is going to look much better 2 years later. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that people are saying, well, I'm just going to go buy a PlayStation 5 now because, PlayStation 5 has won the console wars. Yeah, look, there's no way that PlayStation 5 has won any type of console war right now. There's still a lot to be decided, and if you just look at the specs, Xbox wins in a lot of areas. Like they win in the CPU and the GPU. And when I say win, I say they simply just have the better hardware there, and they definitely paid more for it. So their GPU is 12 teraflops versus PS5 is 10 teraflops. And PS5 has the lead in terms of input-output throughput, 5.5 gigabits per second. So that's how much data that you can send from the SSD to the memory for the GPU to access. So they definitely have more in this area than Xbox Series X. But, 2.4 is nothing to, be concerned about. So most of the time, developers will find a way to, hide this, limitation. And that happens all the time. Like everybody's playing on different PCs, everybody's on different PC hardware. There's always ways for developers to get games to look amazing, and nobody's gonna really see the difference for a lot of situations. So this is not the end of the world. This is just one small area where PS5 has a more, a better hardware than Xbox Series X. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, you can't do that amount of data through a PC." PC right now, or Xbox Series X. Like PS5 has the lead here. They can throughput 8 to 9 gigabits per second of compressed data. That's not going to be the be-all and end-all for games. PS5 still has a number of issues that they have to contend with. For example, they have 36 compute units versus Xbox, which is 52 compute units. So they can't just have one area where you have a bottleneck and just say, okay, well, the rest of the system is going to run at 10 teraflops and this is going to run at the same as the PS5. It just doesn't work like that. So there'll be some areas where Xbox is better and some areas where PS5 is better. But to insinuate that, only the PS5 can do that tech demo is just entirely wrong. There will be ways where the developers will get it to look just as good on the Xbox Series X. Now, what about people with PCs right now? Where does that leave them? And the short answer is, I've gone back to Moore's Law is Dead again for more information, and they had a video out a couple of weeks ago where they talked about the issue with the PlayStation 5 SSD, where that's running much higher than the Xbox Series X. So this is from the PlayStation 5 reveal, and they've said that the SSD, which contains 825 gigabytes, they will transfer data from that at 5.5 gigabits per second. So it'll almost be like it's in the RAM. And if you have a PC and you're running games off your regular SATA hard drive, which is your old slow disk spinning hard drive, Moore's Law is Dead is saying that's probably not going to suffice for next gen, and that you'll probably have to, there will be some issues, with the transition period, where PC users will definitely have to buy an SSD, but in terms of the input throughput, they say that as long as you have something similar to an Xbox Series X, which is in the market right now anyway, like you can see here, a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD with 3400 megabits per second write speed, which is about the same as the Xbox Series X. So if you have that, that should more or less likely be good enough to get you through this period, this transition period. And after that, well, what are we going to get? We're going to get AMD RDNA 3. And what that's going to do is that you're going to get AMD RDNA 3 cards, possibly in 2022. And that's basically going to have use your SSD just like it is in the PS5. So it will almost be like, as he writes here, if you have a 256, maybe they even put that 256 gigabyte SSD onto the card itself. I believe that's what he's saying, because he said, well, we're just going to add $100 onto the GPU and nobody's going to notice because these things are like $800. If we just add this 256 gigabyte onto the SSD, you are going to get the same type of thing as the PlayStation 5 GPU. And if you look at PC market, is a lot more fluid than, say, the console market, where you are kind of fixed with your the way that the console is developed. So maybe they'll have a mid-gen console that comes out to fix all the issues that they had before, but they still have to provide some support to the old console. So that's not the case with PC. There's a continuous transition period, and that helps the PC a lot in this case, because they see the PS5 with this type of technology where they have a lot higher throughput input, and that's going to get fixed within like 6 to 18 months of the PS5 coming out. So it's not a big deal. Certainly if you have a regular old hard drive, you're probably going to have to replace that when the PS5 comes out and the same games come out for PC. Otherwise you're going to get significantly longer load times, and there may even be some issues inside the game where things will just load too slowly and it won't be possible to run the game on a hard drive. But if you have an SSD like this NVMe SSD, that should tide you over for like the next 18 months to 24 months until AMD comes out with their RDNA 3 cards. Nvidia will also come out with their solution, and this thing will just be over in a couple of years by the time the next generation cards come out. So it probably won't be fixed with the cards that are coming out this year with RDNA 2 and NVIDIA Ampere, but it will most likely be resolved with the next generation of GPUs. So that's kind of what I think with Unreal Engine 5. PS5 has definitely not won the console war. Xbox Series X is definitely not bottlenecked just by this SSD issue, and PC, it will take a little bit of time, but it's in transition throughout, and it's not going to be an issue in a couple of years. So anyway, I'll leave the Unreal Engine 5 video in the link below, so you can check that out. And also there is another much longer version, a 9-minute version, that are also linked down in the description below, and that one has some interview clips with the actual Unreal Engine developers. But for now, that's all. If you like this video, click on the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.